Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do top 10 issue number 12 from America's Best Comics from 2001. This is the end of this volume 1, I guess. And it saddens me a little bit because although I just went here completely blinded, this is one of the best comics I've ever read when it comes to storytelling and underlying background stories that becomes the main story in later issues. It's not without problems though. Now, in this last issue that rounds it all up to a certain, well, not everything, has a very dark, mature, disturbing theme. And it involves children. So beware. You probably know what I mean with that. Anyway, let's move on. So this is a flashback of the Seven Sentinels. And we have some kids group here as well, and they are the main superhero group of this universe, I think, right? And they have all of these adventures through the cosmos. And this girl, Krell, I forgot her name, but this alien creature was in the beginning of the books. She is she eats people, and this is a human form, but she reveals later that she wants to report the Seven Sentinels for something. And that's going to be revealed in here. So it's been reviewed by Jackie and Kathy here, right? And they wonder why they have all these space things in the background, right? Because, hey, do they have adventures, right? In space or in the Ultraverse or the dimension Google? All right. So, but then there is another tape that reveals some stuff, if you know what I mean. All right. And then we go to Dwayne's apartment, and Dwayne's mother is still complaining. So we have the exterminator here. And this is the funny part. Although this has very dark themes, there is some humor in here that I appreciate, but sometimes I'm not sure if it actually fits in. Anyway, so the problem was the Ultramice, and he sent in the Atom Cats. Now it's all clean and dandy. Now everything is solved. And basically the mother or Dwayne says, hey, I'm not going to pay you. But he says, the cat and mouse things escalated a secret crisis crossover war with cosmic powers involved. They must have altered time itself. Buddy, I think you ought to be on your way. No, you don't understand. Cosmos must have changed the entire continuity so that this whole cat-mouse crisis never happened. Right? He says, she owes me near $2,000. How am I supposed to live, huh? Those little bastards are always trying to pull shit like this. Well, not this time. I'm getting paid if I have to break every bone in your... But Pete comes in, right? And he's unconscious. Ma, if you get any crazies like this, you call me, okay? Now listen, me and Pete got to be at the job. I'll visit this weekend. All right. So, meanwhile at Imra's place, this here, and so Joe Pye comes in, and he's a robot, and he says, "Hey Joe, Mom and Dad aren't up yet. You want to come in and watch some cartoons with me and Cerebra?" And so Imra says, "Hey, just give me a couple of minutes," and he says, we are late getting up. And the child says, yeah, but you've been awake for a while. We could hear you making all those noises. What were you doing? And so Job, although he's a robot, yeah, dear Ma, I hope you haven't been overdoing those strenuous police exercises they make us do every morning. Sure, you want to be a better officer and provide for your kids, but you think of yourself for once. Police exercises? What? Really? He says, of course, it's a hard job and we have to keep fit for it. I mean, I'm a logical calculating machine. It's not like I could just make stuff up. Right. And the kid says, Mom, can we do the police exercises? She says, no, when you are older. Now scram. All right. So Irma is just getting ready for work. And so he says, hey, your piece of work covering for me and Ron with the kids and all that. So she's basically appreciating his coverage. All right. He makes some jokes. So there is a meeting about, what we've seen in the videos. He says, hey, we have a break on the Garland case. The Garland case is from the beginning, and now it's concluding somewhat. It's a big break, and it goes a long way. All the way to our late unlamented Libra killer, McGlaw Qualtz. Yeah, that was her name. McGlaw Qualtz is this woman here that was a little bit younger and beyond. Lieutenant Colby, so she says, hey, all the evidence point to the 7 Sentinels and the young Sentinels. Garland was planning to sell his story to the press when somebody killed him. I think the Sentinel organization was involved. Kathy, are you sure? They're awfully big players. Did they defeat the Krell Armada? Well, he says, yeah, but we're getting at that. So they did some research and contact some people. It seems that a lot of the stories that the Big 7 are telling, the masses is that it's all fake or not real, or that the Sentinels weren't even involved and then other players, was involved. He says, as for the Krell Armada, Mr. Vaxil says the Krell was a herbivorous reptile species who only recently discovered the wheel. Damn, Jax, you're saying the Sentinels lied about the space wars? What I have been doing all these years. So it's been revealed, and I cannot say because of YouTube, they are a diddling ring. From what you can make out, the young Sentinels is a diddling grooming operation. Come on, you're saying Adaman is a short eyes? What is that? What is that some slang for some inappropriate word? Or the Hound? Kid makes up allegations. You hear it all the time, says Pete. The kids aren't alleging anything. We got Adaman on film being serviced by the Sizzler's preteen partner, Scorchy. All right, so it says, hey, we have a job to do and, round him up. Get the weapons from the armory, and they are in total shock, right? But Pete, being a dick as he is still, not liking Joe Pye. Hey, Python, how come the liberal press never talked about clicker child abuse? Beats me, Officer Cheney. I mean, we punch the toasters once in a while, just like anyone else. Come on, Officer Warner, let's go to our vehicle. Pete, you asshole. Right. Good. So, and then they play some music, like you see in TVs and movies when some kind of a big scene is going to happen because they are now getting on the road and they are, infiltrating some houses and homes. As you can see, this is some woman. I thought it was a dude. And she's, our Peregrine is, beating her up because of the child diddling. And her partners just stop, don't do it. and the rest is going to the Sentinel Spire, right? So basically the Justice League headquarters. And so this guy is, I don't know, boom. It reminds me of, oh man, what is that guy that does the snapping? Snapper Carl. You remember Snapper Carl from the Justice Society the Justice League? He was an unknown guy, a little bit like Rick Jones, but he has some cool adventures. Reminds me of this guy. So he wants to alert the others, but one of these top 10 guys can use his power of persuasion not to push that button. And they revealed that they are the cops for a bust, right? And then we go to... Jesus Christ. Tell ya, after a couple of times, it's okay. Anyways, these guys, they're nothing. Lomax, he's nasty. And Wallace, well, that is someone else. Martha? Look at this. Rock Rest Dallas. Oh, shit, I know the dog guy is here. These are cops. Martha Wesson? Boots, what are you doing here? What was I supposed to do with Steph gone? I joined the Young Sentinels. Listen, Blackie's here new. Let her go, okay? Read the diaper doer their rights, Harry. So, and then, oh man. Just what I needed. I gotta admit, I've been more relaxed since poor Magala bought it. If she gone to trial. All right, police, everybody keep your hands over their instruments, away from the weapons. That includes you, Mr. Nell. This is black radiation weaponry. I blow your Scepter's crystal to pieces. Oh my God, I told you this would happen. Shut up, Perry. Officers, I hope you are not without a warrant. We have a warrant, Mr. Marchionis. It's a warrant for your arrest. Arrest? I don't understand. Well, this may clarify things. Gilbert Marchionis, I'm placing you, James Nile, Perry Summersfield, and Dave Jones under arrest for conspiracy to murder and also for the R-word charges. You have the right to remain silent. All right. So they're being rounded up, right? And I always forget this dog name's name, right? Green Apple, that's a Green Lantern logo, right? From the older comics. Yeah, so it sees that, they're going to other places now to round up their, the other diddlers. So Pete and Dwayne here. And Pete is, I hate Pete. I don't know, I never liked this guy. He's also so being obnoxious and he wants to do things, he knows it all better and he makes more enemies than friends. Dwayne, this ain't right. Just look at this place. This guy's respectable. He's into old money. Yeah, and young kids. Let's do our job, Pete, okay? So Jarvis, or Alfred, is opening up. And, hey, we got a warrant for Lomax. But this guy wants to close the door. Now, just listen, Chiefs, okay? I don't much personally like barging in here on Mr. Lomax like this neither, but that's our job, and we're going to do it. So he's getting a vase full of water. He's short-circuiting. All right. But then Dwayne comes in, and he says, where's Lomax? In the kennel behind Master's portrait. So he's, chaining to the door, and he says to Pete, hey, just call for backup. And then he comes in. Hey, Lomax, Dwayne Bodine, Neopolis PD, I got a warrant here for your arrest. And between you and me, that Master of Thousand Escapes ain't going to do it this time. Come on. We don't need no last big grandstand play here. That's young guy stuff. Lomax, you had a career since the late 40s, right? You had the rep, you had the dough. Why risk all that just for underage tale? I mean, it doesn't make no sense. Look at this. It's a haughty... Really? Space dog costume. But then, oh no! He's doing the last stand thing with the cool-looking classic car. So Dwayne tips his hat. However you want to play on with the Hombre. Slap ladder. Shoots at the car. The car gets demolished because, I don't know, it's just a pretty awesome bullet. So the car explodes. Lomax, he's done. Yeah, Janice, Dwayne. If the captain's here, tell him the hounds just got collared. All right. So Smacks also confirms that he's running up the rest of the, or a couple of the 7 Sentinels, right? And and then the rest of them going to the Heroes Hangout, where the young Sentinels are, and also Peacock is here, Captain Peacock. So this young woman says, yeah, Elaine Scorty Fields. So she was the one that was being diddled, I guess. I'm Detective Jackson. This is Detective Corbo. We're from the Neopolis PD. We got a warrant to take you, Mr. Jones, Mr. Dumas, and Mr. Sprius here into protective custody. Why us? What about Blackie and Boots? Oh, Fishboy, shut up. Boots? You mean Walter Wesson? She's with the young Sentinels? Yeah. The Scepter, he brought her in. Wendy Spears. We have a blue soundwave simulator, obviously. We prefer not to use it. So this young girl is now a woman, right? Because this was us all in the past. And she was probably way more underage because, well, yeah, she's a little bit older. So, and to be honest, what is this costume with the collar? And it's wrong. Mr. Spears, Miss Spears, did you hear what I said? I can't believe Martha would do that. I had a report with her. Scotch Peter, they can't catch you. Get out of here. No, Donnie, I want this all to be over. I hate my dad. I hate Larry beating us up. I hate all this. Just a second. John, she's glowing. Why she's glowing ultraviolet? But he says, I don't know what you're talking about. But she is a synthetic, and she can see ultraviolet light pouring out of her, and she's sweating. Ultraviolet light. So whatever sense you're confusing it with, it's something on the perception like ultrasound. And yeah, Uncle Greg, they're coming for you. So Uncle Greg is basically Superman, right? Candor, the Kents, but not in this universe. So yeah, he says, "Oh crap! Oh crap!" All right, and so this is some kind of a vault, fallout shelter. You know what makes me sick? Whatever Atoman's lifespan, 300 years, it'll be out in 15 tops. He just keep on doing this, messing with kids. These guys never stop. We ought to just whoops. Uh-oh, and something breaks. Oops, what did you do? With typical machine clumsiness, I have to seem to disable my inbuilt audio taping system. That means for instance, a fellow officer should suggest something illegal, I won't have a record of it. Darn. He's helping her again. Joe, that's thanks. But then Smacks comes in, right? And he says, hey, what's happening? So it seems that this super guy is in the fallout shelter. And Joe Pye says, it's made from impregnium. Man, these words and this whole topic, this whole narrative and the dark themes in pregnant. All right, but Smack says, I'll be the judge of that. Well, he's going to find out because, yeah, that's impregnium. So we can't get in. Damn, Joe. I was serious earlier. I like to kill this guy. Then you would go to jail, he says. Listen, I can override intercom. Right? In Neapolis legislation, have you ever come across Asimov's law? No, never heard of him. So, if I remember correctly, Asimov's law isn't that a real thing made by Isaac Asimov? The writer of all these old science fiction comics books. That one of the laws is that the robot should never harm human beings. Correct me if I'm wrong, and leave a comment below. So, Mr. Wallace, I'm Officer Joe Pine, our artificial intelligence custody section to Neapolis PD. We come to arrest you. Could you communicate with us? He says, I've got to speak to my lawyer. You mean Mr. Gilbert Martionis? He's currently in custody for child diddling offenses. So maybe you should review your options, Pye says. If you stay here forever, you may be well as in prison. Alternative, you could burst out and attempt to fight your way to freedom. However, we have blue sound wave simulators out here. I understand that blue sound waves rob you of your powers temporarily, while cyan sound waves remove them permanently. But you must all know this, right? I told you have vibro-sealed room of sound there in your shelter. So what's your point? Well, my point is that if you come out, we'll capture you by temporarily removing your powers. The courts may remove you permanently, and then they will send you to prison with all of your old enemies as a child molester. No, that can't happen. Actually, Greg, may I call you Greg? Actually, there's an 87% probability that would well happen. There's no way out with dignity, Greg. Nothing in your shelter can help you. Not with your weaponry, not with your room of sounds. Say, listen, leave him be. Room of sounds? You think you're so smart, you machines. No way with dignity, huh? Well, Mr. AI, you just opened your mouth and gave me a way out. What, Greg? Wait, what do you mean? This is all a ruse, of course. This is all fake, right? I mean, my room of sounds. I guess you forgot the other forms of sound waves I generate in there. By the great programmer, you can mean the violet sound wave? I have miscalculated. Please, Greg, don't do anything rash. This is screwed. Shh. Yeah, you got it. The violet sound wave, the one that destroys me. You think Adaman is going to spend the next 20 years bending over for Dr. Dread and Antimax? I got the last laugh, robot. I got a way out. Greg, please don't do this. I'm sure we can work something out. Greg. There. Problem solved. He gave him the option to kill himself, and he did it. I ought to wait to go back to the station. I have to report my poor performance as a siege negotiator. I'll drive if you like. She's smiling and Smacks. because he doesn't know what to do. Right. So everything is now being solved, right? Except for one thing. What happened to the invisible butt pincher, right? We still don't know if it's a he or a she, but you know that was the one that in the background pinches women butts. We still don't know who it was. All right. So they say, "Hey, I'm going home," and so Smacks goes to Robin and basically explains what happened, and also, "Hey, is my dad okay?" Well, fine is. Look, I told you my uncle died, right? I have to go to a funeral, and where I come from, see this complications. Going back there on my own, I just feel uncomfortable, and not scared. No, of course not. What do I got to be scared about? I'm invulnerable. Look, forget I said anything. I was stupid even to mention it. Jesus, Jeff, just breathe. You want me to come along for company? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, please. I like that. Yeah, I like this moment of vulnerability of, Smacks that wasn't, But then we go into screwed up territory. So it seems that Kemlo is really liking Annette here, right? And they have a relationship or something. It's just, I really like you, Annette. I have to be sure. I know this other hooker once she made out with her dog, like not you, ordinary dog. This is screwed up. Wait, it gets better. I asked her why she did it. You know what she said? Because with him, I know he loves me. Oh my God. What is this? Why? But then it's getting a little bit even worse. So, this is the last couple of pages, and we have the captain here, and he's going to his, boyfriend. These are gay, and I don't care about that, right? And basically telling his husband, about what happened with the 7 sentinels of the P word and the child abuse and, the diddling ring. But then it has been revealed, you think about 49. Boy, in that uniform, you were something, says the big tough sky shark guy. Wolf, I was barely 16 back then, and you were what, 24 maybe? How was that we did different? Hey, I was a dirty old fruit even back then. And the difference is, I loved you, baby, I still do. And I love you, old man, and that's enough, right? Even in a city like this? Yeah, it's enough. It's not different. It's still diddling. Dude, why is Alan Moore going into this direction? Why would you reveal something like this? This is not okay. It doesn't matter if you loved it. He was still 16 years old. The series was so good. It is still good, but no. God. So there's some other books as well. Maybe I should take a look at that. But I don't have that. What I do have is a top 10 miniseries, Beyond the Farthest Precinct, 1 of 5, that we're going to do with Jerry Ordway. And yeah, that looks great. So, guys, we're going to continue the story, hopefully with a different theme and topic. And like I said, this is a very good series. But this theme, man, I don't know. I just don't know. Leave a comment below and let me know what you think about this. Guys, I see you next time. Bye-bye.